Welcome to Sync NI's Tech Craic Podcast series. On this podcast, you will hear fascinating insights from all different levels of the NI tech community. Find out more on our socials or on our website at syncni.com. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the latest news in our tech sector. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tech Craic Podcast. I'm in the Scottish Provident Building today with Donna Linehan. Donna, thank you very much for joining today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a fantastic venue.
I know. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scottish Provident is, we would call this our flagship building, venue's flagship. So, yeah, aesthetically.
You could get lost in here and you wouldn't mind.
And you do. This is why, I don't know where you notice, obviously it's the first time you've been in the building, but on every floor we have numbers because people were coming in, every corridor will look the exact same. So we try to have every lobby a different feature. And so, yeah, it was very important to get numbers on there. But, yeah,
definitely.
The grandeur of the building, it's massive.
It looks fantastic on the outside, and when you come back on the inside, it's just as fantastic in its own right.
I know.
Yeah, sometimes you have like the older listed buildings, and then you come inside and it's the same.
It's lost.
It's kind of lost its value.
I think
here's complete opposite.
Yeah, that was it was very important for us to keep the aesthetics of the building. You know, the old features and in some of the rooms, not in this room, but in some of the offices and some of the meeting rooms. There's old fireplaces, so instead of boarding them up, we restore them, you know, to look like they did back in the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's features like that you don't want to deter from, you know, and you need to work with the colorings of the tiles and you know, with the paintings and on the corridors and in the meeting rooms and around the building. So it's done with great detail. I have to say. It's a
lot of work to keep that heritage and history.
Totally. And we do get checked up on, I have to
say.
The Heritage Society
keep you on your toes.
do keep a close eye on me, but I think they trust that we're not going to destroy the facade or the interior of the building. You know, we actually have a girl who is a mosaic tile specialist, and she will come in once a year and do a walk around, because sometimes I think whenever you're looking at the same things, you can miss 100%. Things. So so I mean, if a tile cracks, trying to find like for like that they had in 1902 can be a bit difficult, but we get there.
Or sometimes if you walk around a corridor and you're like, I know there was a tile broken here somewhere on a different floor.
No, John, we don't have any broken
tiles.
But yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So can you tell me a bit about the heritage and history of this building?
Yeah, well, the Scottish Provident Building was always home to different industries, you know, different companies, different businesses. It was built in stages, I think, and I don't hold me to this, but I think they started around 1897 and it was complete in 1902. Okay. So yeah, it was built in sections. The architects were Young and Mackenzie. They did the City Hall. This here is a sister building actually of the City Hall. Yeah. So, and we kept two of our meeting rooms are actually called Young and Mackenzie, just as a bit of a throw to them. Very good. And I think once they had, you know, designed this building, they actually had offices in here for a lot of years as well. The sculptures were Purdy and Millard. We're now sitting in the Millard suite. So you want to keep that history going, you know. But yeah, it's always been home to different companies, different sectors. I mean, I remember years ago, a gentleman had come into reception, and one of the guys had rang me up to say that this gent had lived in Australia for over 60 years, and his first job was actually in this building when he was 15. So he came up and had a chat with me, and I asked him would he remember what office, and he took me straight to the office, and the clients in there, I knew they wouldn't have minded, so I checked with them, and they actually had me bring the gent in, so he got a bit teary, a bit sentimental.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and he was very appreciative of how we kept the building, you know. I think a lot of people will try and modernise building. You could never modernise this building, nor would we want to.
Yeah. Well, you have a good modern touch in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's an element of modern and classic touch to it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, we're not knocking down walls or boarding up any antique fireplaces.
That's it. So what makes the Scottish Provident Building such a special place to work?
I suppose it's our baby, you know. It's venues, as I say. It's the flagship building. venYou are soon to have 5 properties now. But we took on the Scottish Provident 12 years ago, and we only had 1 floor to refurb. We were just saying how it would have went. And I think Johnny and I, my colleague, our background is hotels. So we knew that this place could be something pretty spectacular, you know. Maybe their idea was if it didn't work at office spaces, we would turn it into hotel. Hence hiring Johnny and I. But we knew the sheer grandeur. And what I think is very important, and I do constantly go on about, is customer service. And once I knew, and Johnny knew, that the customer service side of things and clients would be happy in here, because we knew that we had the final say on how things were going to be ran and the staffing that we were going to bring in. And I mean, I remember when I came here, there was only one or 2 clients who are actually still with us.
Wow.
And we had no housekeepers. We had, like, Johnny and I were in kitchens washing dishes. But we always knew what this building could be. And fast forward, I think it took us 5 years to have the whole building. Fast forward 12, now we have venYou, which is 4-year-old and close to 5 buildings.
Fantastic.
So, and I think that with the likes of Scottish Provident and with the whole of the venYou offering, it's all down to staff as well. Because it's very easy. This building could sell itself, you know, as you say, you know, people come in and it's like, but it's how the business is run on a day-to-day basis. It's how your clients and their staff are happy, because we're representing the clients also. So there's a lot of adding factors into that. So I think we work very well because of the sheer grandeur of this building and our other properties, but it's the staff, because it really is, not to sound cheesy, but it is a relationship that we have. There is a community built, and we do pride ourselves. I mean, our shop line is progressing business, so that's what we would like to pride ourselves on, you know, because clients can be affiliated with us if they're sitting in their kitchen at home and they have an idea. That's where they can come and chat to me, and we will start off by giving them a virtual package. You know, they can have their company registered to ourselves, you know, avail of our answering service, you know, use our meeting facilities, and then the next natural progression is they take an office.
Oh, very good.
You know, and they grow, and this is why it was very important for ourselves to have the other buildings, because we found that when clients were at the stage where, okay, we want to be in one room and we need 75 of us in the one room, open plan is very few and far between in here. So it made sense for us to have somewhere else for them to go, which is why we acquired the other properties at Ascot House, Northern Court. We're refurbing Thomas House at the minute as well. So it's, again, still completely serviced, but on a much larger scale, you know. So it made sense for the clients to continue their journey with us. They know how we work, we know how they work, and they're happy. So yeah, that's why it was important. So you can start from scratch, literally start from an idea, and then grow. That's
fantastic.
Yeah, no,
that's really good thinking for that. Like, especially the virtual package to begin with, it's very good.
And I think a lot of people don't know about virtuals. You know, they don't know that offering is available to them. So I had no clue about virtuals before I came here. You know, and it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great, and you're ticking the boxes for everyone. You know, it's not like we can only help someone who has 12 staff or 40 staff. You know, come to me with an idea, and I can see how we can help you.
Definitely.
And it's good, I think as well, it's good for the clients because there is so many different companies in this building, you know, and you could be helping each other out. You know, we've PR, we've marketing, we've, you know, all sorts. There's travel, there's, you know, all sorts. So it really helps.
That's unreal.
Yeah, especially when you're in the infancy of your business.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to pick on people, you know, pick their ears and have some advice and feedback from them, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So we're coming out of the other side of the pandemic. What sort of changes in working practices and attitudes have you noticed since pre-COVID?
Well, there's a lot of hybrid. You know, a lot of people are coming in 2 days a week, 3 days a week. There were some clients who were in over COVID, you know, because of the nature of their business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is a lot of hybrid working now. And again, this was important for us to acquire more buildings because I've had a lot of companies come in with myself who have still retained all of their staff members, but now out of the 75, they may only have 15 or 20 coming in at any one time, so they don't necessarily need their 7,000 square foot, you know, and they don't necessarily want to sign up for another 5 or 10 year lease. So even the larger companies are thinking, you know, we still want to have a base for our employees, but on a more flexible basis, which is what we do. You know, we'll do everything on a flexible basis, and even with our own clients in the buildings during COVID, some had, you know, dropped off from 15 staff down to 3. We'll work with them. You know, one client in particular had dropped down quite a bit, then went to a virtual, still kept, you know, the relationship with venYou. And now has a wing of rooms back in here. Amazing. You know, so it's just being flexible and being empathetic with the clients, you know. Yeah. Nobody knows. Everybody would like to know where they're going to be in 6, 12, 18 months time, but you just don't know. So the key is the flexibility with the likes of your IT, cybersecurity, all the indigenous companies, you know. Everybody's in the same boat. You know, there's that sense of, well, what could happen. So we just need to be there to help them along the way, you know, and just give them a bit of reassurance. Yeah. The last thing you want is to be in a massive floor plate with a half a dozen people. And it's so, come on board here and we can get you sorted, you know. Yeah, that's it. Well, how important is flexible working to the future of work, and what are the benefits? I think it's vital, flexible working, and certainly to have that offering for all different ranges of companies, because that's what their employees want. You know, they want that flexibility. So we have to just change with that, you know. And as I say, John, there is people that come in every single day, but there is those people who don't. And flexibility falls under a lot of things. It does. You know, you can be flexible with people's contracts. You know, they can sign anything from a minimum of 3 months with me. You know, there's no issue at all with that. So it's, as I say, it's giving the client that reassurance, and it's the flexibility with even within our buildings. If someone was to come in and sign even for 12 months in a 4-person office, the next day, if they need an 8-person and I have it available, you'll be moved right away. Yeah. So you have your flexibility there. Very also good. So flexibility comes under a lot of things. So we would like to think that we tick all the boxes. It's really just reassuring the companies, and I would work very closely with the likes of InvestNI and certainly any FDIs that do come in. That's what they need, because as I say, they're in the infancy. They could be very well established in California or Boston or Luxembourg, but it's a punt them coming here, and they don't know, because they have to find the talent, they have to find the recruiters, so whenever they come in to meet me, they're just looking at their options, you know. So the flexibility is key for those guys as well. Definitely. And those are the guys that if it does work, then it skyrockets, you know. So that's a peace of mind for them to know that they don't need to sign on the dotted line for something for years to come.
Yeah, that's
you know,
very good.
And I think it's important as well to let companies grow organically, you know, because they may not find the right talent, or they may find so much that it's like, okay. But the only thing I ask from the clients is to keep me in the loop.
That's it.
That's it. You know, just let me know. And the majority of moves that I've had actually this last few months has been internally in here, you know, in Scottish Provident. You know, clients have maybe went from here and flipped over to another company, you know, because I've had previously clients come in with venYou, and they've started off growing very quickly in Scottish Provident and had got to the stage where they wanted a big office, flipped onto one of our other properties, and they got acquired. So, you know, with the IT sector's like, the turnover's pretty high.
Yeah.
So you'll find that whenever one head of staff leaves, the others will tend to follow. And that is exactly what happened. But they're back in Scottish Provident with a brand new company, and they're just going to repeat the same process.
Yeah.
You know, and again, they wouldn't be coming back and doing that if they weren't happy with the service. So it all has a domino effect. Sometimes it's the smallest things that.
Yeah.
And there has been clients who have left and went to other service office providers and whatever. We're all adults, you know. We're not going to fall out over it, but they've come back. But everybody needs to do what's right for their company. You know?
Exactly. There's that flexibility where you can have companies scale up, scale down, and move different. It's almost they're almost like doing the hokey cokey.
Exactly. You know, the same faces are coming in with a different company, and who are you with now? It's great for the recruitment, IT recruitment guy, and again, they're my clients also. You know, so it's great for me.
Fantastic. That's the main part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all, we're 100% right.
And finally, so work is often seen as a serious business. Have you any funny anecdotes or strange experiences since you've opened the building to tenants that you can share with our listeners? And obviously no names need to be mentioned.
I don't think there's anything you can share. There's a few of, because I have my own housekeeping team who go around all the buildings. Actually, all the guys even who answer calls and stuff. Here is the hub of venYou, so there's a lot of interaction. But yeah, let's just say there's maybe some of my housekeepers who've seen things that they didn't want to see. They shouldn't have seen.
Yeah,
but
not safe for work too.
Yeah, exactly. We're 24/7 access. Let's just leave it at that.
Didn't realize it's 24/7.
Yeah. But no, and I mean, there's clients as well. I remember a lot of years ago, a client ringing and saying, "I know this is a strange request, but do you have an ironing board?" And I was like, we didn't, but we will have in 15 minutes. So yeah, we ran around to Argus and got. So it's kind of clients have that feel of this really is like a hotel.
Yeah. You
know, and I actually had an venYou tour in, and the guy asked me, would I mind if he was to bring a fold-up bed into the office, because his company is based in Hong Kong, and just with the time difference. I was like, certainly. We have showers on the first floor. I'll get you towels.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's there is a great atmosphere in and around here. As well. You know, there's staff and clients who tend to be hiding and jumping out and frightening the life out of you. Yeah, it's just that type of building, but it's all good.
I've heard as well, like the likes of sometimes like the World Cups, like some big events. Usually host some events.
Yeah. So on the terrace area, you know, the outdoor television is there. Certainly the World Cup, every client put their hand in, picked out a flag, and there was a competition. But any of the matches that were be able to watch with the time difference, there was beer and wine out there. The clients can just go out. But yeah, any sporting events or anything. I mean, even downstairs there's a stocked fridge, you know.
Fantastic.
You go out there in the afternoon and there'll be clients sitting having a beer and pizza.
I know I'm coming for the Rugby World Cup later in the year then.
You need to take an office.
With an old building as well, like
Yeah.
any strange experiences, like it's over 100 years old.
It is, yeah. Some people say that they get a bit.
They get a chill or something like that,
Yeah.
but no strange sightings or anything like
Put
that.
the heating on, it's fine. I'm one of those ones that's grand. I mean, if there is any Spurs here, they're nice. They're certainly not doing anything wrong with us anyhow.
They're in the other end. They're keeping the rest of the
they're up in the
building
loft
up
within tough.
as well. That's it. Well, Donna, thank you very much for coming on
it was
today.
my pleasure.
I really enjoyed it, and we'll get you on again for another
Definitely.
podcast when the Rugby World Cup's on. Just try and coincide with
that.
that.
Yeah. Funny enough. You coming in with your rucksack?
Yeah, that's it. I'll bring the fold-up bed as well.
No problem at all.
That's it for another episode of the Craic Podcast series. Thanks for listening, and be sure to tune in to the next episode by finding us on syncni.com or searching syncni on your favourite audio streaming platform.